I did not like The Last of Us Part 1 much at all. I respected it, as I've said numerous times, but I found it forced. It felt disingenuous. It felt, I mean, incredibly well made, but it had this kind of, it just didn't feel authentic to me. And I'll be honest with you, Uncharted 4 had the same problem. There was just this kind of sense of, look how serious and somber and somewhat stoic we are. We're not going to enjoy that we're a video game. We're just going to be very mature. That's how I took it. I don't know, doesn't matter how it was intended. That's how I received it. And so both those games, I played about 8 hours of Uncharted 4, stopped, and I played about 6 hours, 6 hours of Last of Us 1 and stopped. And I was just like, look, man, you know, I'd been going, okay, well, I'm probably just not a fan of Neil Druckmann's games. Not the guy. The guy, I'm sure, is a nice guy. I follow him on social media. Seems like a good dude. But, you know, you don't always have to like someone's creative output. You can still respect it, and I absolutely do. It's that team is second to none, really. So I came to Last of Us 2 very late. I wasn't really interested in playing it. A lot of people were like, Jeff, you have to fucking play it. So finally I started playing it. I really liked a lot of it, but I stopped after about 2 hours because the chat, I was playing it on stream, and the chat was telling me, oh, this is, you know, I was like, oh, I don't like stealth. And they're like, well, there's a lot of this. I'm like, okay, this is not for me. Even though I really, you know, you can go back and look at those videos if you care, but I was very much like, oh, this is, you know, the art is great and the detail is great and the performances are great, but it's too slow and it takes too long to get the story going. And then on top of it, it's all stealth. I don't want to play this. And a few days later, somebody told me, no, the chat's not right. You don't have to play this game stealthy. You can play parts of it stealthy. In some parts, you're probably better off, but you can also collect a lot of things and allow your character to be stronger by crafting. And you can also get better at shooting and get better at melee and all these, you know, dodging. And suddenly it was like, oh, it's not just like a slow-paced stealth game. They're like, no. Okay, so I went back in, and very quickly, once the inciting incident, which was Dina and Ellie going after the killers of Joel, I was just like, okay, this is getting good. And it kept getting good, and it kept getting good, and it kept getting good. And then tonight, I've been playing, not nonstop. I'm probably about a fifth of the way through, maybe. I know pretty much what the story is. Tonight, I encountered this. I don't like Uncharted 4. I didn't like Last of Us 1 that much. Good God. This game is the shit. This game is the shit. Now, let me tell you, I have a theory, by the way. Now, again, this is not breaking news. I don't know Neil Druckmann. This is just when you put your art out there for consumption, people are allowed to analyze not just the art, but the artist. Here's my theory. This could be wrong. This could be totally wrong. Doesn't matter. I find it interesting. You know, there you go. I was an English major in college. I also took a bunch of film classes. It's amazing. You know, a lot of times the artists or the creators of these pieces would come to campus and you'd say, I think your story's about this. And they would go, it doesn't really matter if it's right or wrong. You're the consumer. You're the receiver of the art. Do with that what you will. So here's my theory on this. Uncharted 4 and Last of Us 1 are both Neil Druckmann joints. They are both starring male protagonists. I don't think Neil Druckmann does male protagonist that well. Some of the falsest notes in this game are when Joel and his brother are just talking by themselves. There is a disingenuine sense of the presentation of stoic, serious masculinity. I see the same thing with Nathan Drake in Uncharted 4, where they feel unapproachable. They feel so closed off. They feel so behind this, I'm a quiet kind of. It's like, that's not Nathan Drake. That was never Nathan Drake. And that may be Joel, but I don't want to fucking be him as a protagonist, right? It was boring. It was slow. It was plotting. Ellie kicks fucking ass. Now, I know, and even people who know it's going to be Abby, I know the story. When I played Abby at the beginning, people were like, see, isn't she shit? I'm like, no, she's cool. I like Abby. Now, again, we'll see what happens, but my first take when I was playing her in the mountains was like, she's cool. I like her. So I think, honestly, truth be told, I think, and again, this is not an insult at all. I'm the same way. I'm not comparing my skills or talents or success with Neil Druckmann, but I am much more attuned creatively to more feminine energy than male energy. I was talking to people about this tonight. I think Druckmann is too. You hear him talk in his interviews. He's a very thoughtful guy. He's a very, a lot of people call him beta, soy boy. That's just stupid bullshit. There's nothing pro or con about having more or less masculine, feminine energy at all, let alone in your creativity. But I think when he's working on a game with female protagonists, and I think this is the first one he's done, the characters are real, but they're also interesting and likable, and you care about them. I didn't give a fuck about Joel. Joel seemed like a total boring, cliche, knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing ass. Not an asshole, but he's like, I'm just so serious. Great, Joel. Go be serious, you fucking golf-headed, smashed-in head motherfucker. But this is my theory. I think there's a lot of movie directors that are this way too. It's like they really do well. Like male movie directors really write and direct women better than men. That's my thing. Sony, don't give Neil Druckmann any more games where he's got a male protagonist. Always give him Lara Croft. See what he does with her. This game has absolutely made me a believer in the talent of that guy. I mean, that's not even true. I always knew he was talented. His just stuff wasn't for me. This is for me. I fucking love this game. Still not my game of the year. Definitely top 3 2020. This, wow, what a fucking game, man. Oh, if I may, by the way, real quick, still a big hearty go fuck yourself to, I was going to put a whole video together and I kept putting it off. I was busy with other things. When I was playing Last of Us and I was like, Last of Us Part 2, and I'm like, it's not really for me. All this fucking toxic hate. Don't come at me now and go, act like we're pals now. You're still an asshole. People are allowed to not like what you like. You need to be mature enough, which is really over the age of 10. It's not asking much. Just because someone else, you don't need me or anyone else to validate what you like. Embrace what you like, own it, and stop looking for a pat on the head going, see, you're doing fandom right. Go, so you can still stay in the corner and be fucking yourself, okay? My love of this game has nothing to do with not the nice people in fandom, but there's a bunch of assholes in this fucking fandom. They can go fuck themselves with the same golf club that bashed in Joel's head. Go fuck yourself. I love you. I love you. Okay, that's it. Bye.